5BD Statesville.
Welcome to Racing Roots with Hamm.
If you don't know our host, David Hamm, he's a 25-year NASCAR veteran, engine builder, and jackman.
Live every Monday evening, we have a new guest
From the racing world with their stories, their paths,
their racing roots.
Now here's our host, David Hamm.
And good evening. Welcome everyone to Racing Roots with Hamm. And we're just sitting here chit-chatting away and totally lost track of time, and it's already 7 o'clock. Just as Christian was mentioning how busy or how the day just flew by. It sure did. So we got Christian Wilson in with us, and we got Bryson, young Bryson Davis.
Oh, yeah. Good to be here.
And last but not least, of course, my wife, Traci Hamm, is to my right. Hello, Traci.
Hello.
I should have put you first. I know.
Yeah,
I
it doesn't
apologize.
matter.
Yeah. How's Traci today? How was your day?
It was good.
It was good? That's it?
It was good.
Oh, that's
I mean,
right.
we were busy, but it was good.
Yeah. You told me not to ask you any questions.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
forgot.
You're allowed to ask that.
Yes.
And remember, Scott said it's not racing with the ham; it's racing with hams.
With the hams, yes. All right. Well,
Hams.
Bryson and Christian are hams, but they
I do
can
like
be.
ham, though.
Yeah, same.
Who doesn't? And bacon.
They can act like hams from time to time. Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
If y'all would have just heard the banter before we went live.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was some good stuff.
Some stuff we can't play on air. Right?
I
Yes.
just told David he kept on. He's gonna walk home.
Well, I've been told that before.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say anything else because it might happen someday.
I even told you Saturday. You keep on. That's gonna make you walk beside the car.
Oh, yeah, with my, with my jacket.
with your arm and the car door shut like
Yeah.
like a dog.
Yeah, we went out to eat at a local restaurant, Rice Fun, and she was, was that the one you were telling me?
No, this was
Okay.
at Mario's.
Different. Oh, Mario, another restaurant that I took her out to, and she was telling me, "You're going to be walking home.
You keep
You're going to be
on.
walking by the car. I'm going to put your jacket arm or your shirt arm in the window. That way, you're walking. I'm tugging you along, and people are going to be
Wow.
wondering. Yeah. So
Look at that poor man having to walk.
as usual, I got the thing I can put my foot in my mouth quite a bit.
Yeah, you
time
like
to
to
time.
dig your own holes.
So, all right, if y'all are just now tuning in, this is Racing Roots with Hamm. We usually have
Hams.
a guest from each week with their story, their path, their racing roots, but we're going to talk about the race that happened yesterday yesterday and last night. I didn't stay up and watch the Xfinity race, but I did watch the Cup race.
Yeah, you were
and
snoring.
We were, thanks for that.
Yep.
We were watching the Cup race, and it was, who was the winner in the Cup race? Y'all remember?
Kyle Busch.
Okay. Kyle Busch won the race.
Yeah, second start with RCR, and he gets the win. He's driving the number 8. He's been really impressive so far this season. He ran well at Daytona. He came back from speeding penalty in both of those races. And he's looking really strong, so is RCR.
Yeah,
I could see them winning a lot this year.
I figured he was probably going to do very well this year.
Yeah. What's your opinion on Kyle Busch? How do you think? I think he's great.
I
think
do
he's been
too.
doing good.
I mean, and I think he's got a lot more people behind him now.
Yeah.
Now that he's sort of, been sort of. I mean, all right, it comes across like he was sort of pushed out of Joe Gibbs Racing, in a way, he didn't have a choice, and so that makes him a little bit of the underdog in a way.
Yeah.
And people like that.
Yeah, I think it's cool because Kyle Busch is a two-time champion, and now everybody, like you said, he's kind of viewed as an underdog figure. But I think he's kind of found his place in not only as a driver, but in like a leadership role more so than he was at Gibbs.
Yeah.
And I think you see that with a lot of drivers like Denny Hamlin, who's now a team owner. They move into these roles where they can now have more leadership. You see that with a lot of guys as they get further into their career. They not only want to be just a driver, but they want to be a leader to prolong their career, I guess. But I think it's a perfect fit for him. He's got that mentality that he wants to win no matter what, and I think winning the race yesterday just sets the tone for the season, and I think that's only up from here because I think he's you got a talented two-time champion and a great team. I mean, the 8 team was good last year with Tyler
Yeah.
Reddick, and so he's got the same guys behind him that Tyler did, and they've got some of the best engines in NASCAR. So I think that's only the beginning for them this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they won a few more.
Yeah,
Maybe made a playoff run.
He's already
Never know.
surpassed. He's got 19 wins in a row. 19
Seasons
years
with a win.
Yes, with a win, and that's already passed. Richard Petty was up there.
Yep.
18. years, and I don't remember who else was up there. But
I'm not sure, but he's only 37, so he's got. I mean, you would think he's got several more years of his career remaining, and so I think it's pretty cool to see a guy leave somewhere that he's been for his entire career. Well, other than Hendrick for his first couple of years, and then just really rebound after just winning one race out of luck last season at the Bristol Dirt Race. So I think it's a big deal. I really do. I think it's great.
All right, so the rest of the show we're gonna have a callers. We're gonna have several callers. One being Kevin from Virginia. If you've ever heard of Kevin from Virginia, he calls into Sirius XM Radio quite a bit. And we're also gonna have the beer man Scott Trevison's gonna call in and talk about his trip over to the Daytona Speedway last week, and probably a little bit about the California race. And then one more, Stoney Ballard is gonna call in because 2 days ago was Davey Allison's birthday, so we're gonna talk a little bit about Davey Allison's. He's going to tell some Davey Allison stories. And Kristen has a shirt on. Got it covered up now, but it's a nice Davey Allison shirt.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shirts. I wore it last time I was on the show, and I wore it again today.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
They don't make racing shirts like that anymore. The cool
real.
90s looking graphics, man.
Well, speaking of Kevin's, Kevin Harvick raced in his 750th consecutive start on Sunday, finished 5th. So that's something I wanted to point out to y'all.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's impressive.
Yep.
He did he not win? Well, actually, never mind. I'm about to tell lies. I was.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no. He's always ran good at California. It's good. I think he's going to have a good season too.
Yep.
But he's running pretty solid.
Tracy, you got a comment over there from Philip. He says that.
Kyle Busch, I always said he drives like Dale Sr.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
T-Chaps88 says it was nice to have a long green flag run to the finish. Reminded me a lot of classic fuel mileage races at Michigan, and nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it definitely was like that, and it was a very entertaining race. I mean, at the beginning we did see a lot of 3-4 wide passes, but it was nothing short of entertaining. I thought it was a great race, and it's sad to see that they're going to reconfigure it. But it was bound to happen eventually.
Yeah.
They're going to try to make it sort of like a short track hybrid, but with long straightaways.
Yeah, the Auto Club. I think you see this now in a lot of these racetracks that are like your Atlanta was like this for the past several years. The pavement gets worn out. It was paved in '97, so Auto Club was paved in '97, and it's like now with the new car, it's like. It fits perfect with that, the old pavement that's, kind of rough, but almost like a Darlington style pavement where it's going to rip your tires up, but the racing is really good. And you saw that yesterday, and you hate to see something like that go away, but when you see the price tag of like $600 million or however much they're selling half of the property for, you can, I guess, kind of understand the reason. It's almost like they're bringing short track racing out there. I think they've wanted to do that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because they don't really have I guess they're, in the Southeast, we have a lot of short tracks, so they're not necessarily familiar with that in that market. So I think that's the plan there. I think hopefully they can move forward with that.
Test it out. Maybe they'll do some night racing out there as well. So it was about 45 degrees yesterday in California, and there was snow on the ground. Actually, it was up in the Big Bear Mountain is what we used to call it. There was a lot of snow up there. Hey, good afternoon, caller. Is this Kevin?
Oh, yeah, this is Kevin.
Hey there, Kevin from Virginia. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Did you watch the race yesterday? I know it's a dumb question.
Yeah, I watched both of them.
Yeah, what'd you think about that? I didn't get to see the second one, but the first one was good.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought there was a lot of competition, some strategy, a lot of tire wear, some mistakes by some, like Truex crew. He lost a tire, some, just some things that are uncharacteristic, but being a second race, I did appreciate seeing a Kyle Busch win, especially for my wife.
Oh, yeah. Does she like Kyle Busch?
Yeah, she likes Kyle Busch. And plus I thought that, really big, strong Chevy performance out of Trackhouse RCR and a couple of the Hendrick cars that was able to finish in the top 10.
So was your wife a Kyle Busch fan before he went to Childress or all along?
Oh, she's been a Kyle Busch fan since I got her into the sport probably about 10 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, how Kyle Busch, I believe he's picked up a lot of new fans.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because some people comparing him to Dale Earnhardt Sr. in his driving skills.
Yeah, I think he's still got a lot to make up for that, but his, like I said, different generation. Dale Earnhardt Sr. was somebody I wish I had appreciated more when he was still alive. It's just that I was into the sport, but not as much as I am now.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I was actually in 1998 when I was a jackman for Sterling Marlin, and we were racing at Daytona. And you know what happened there at Daytona 500? That's when Earnhardt ended up winning, and I was so mad. And I was back there putting up all the pit equipment, and a lot of the guys, looked around and everybody was gone. I'm like, where is everybody at? You know, they were out there saluting and giving him high fives and stuff, you know, as he drove down pit road. And I'm back there just mad that we didn't win. But yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah, and I guess another aspect of the race yesterday, I had mixed feelings because I know it was the last race, but when you really look at both races put together, it was some fantastic finishes, especially for Kyle Busch winning and then turning around later on that night, John Hunter Nemechek getting a win for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Okay. John Hunter, I remember when he was born. You know? Oh, gosh. Yeah, I was built engines for his dad back in those days.
I was going to ask him, what are your thoughts on the reconfiguration thing? Do you think we what do you think? Because we saw, like you said, some of the best racing at Auto Club we've seen, in years. So, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm kind of mixed on it, but listening to Jordan Bianchi last night, I got a little bit more understanding with the sale of the land. If they're selling as much land as I think they're selling, and only keeping about 95 to 100 acres. It'd probably be feasible to make it a short track. From what I've been hearing from people and fans who've been there in person, it was due for a repave. Part of my job, I work in asphalt, so I know it's going to take a while for that asphalt to cure. So even with a repave, you wouldn't get the racing you have now at Auto Club now. So if it's feasible with the land, they're going to have to make it a short track. Given the fact, I guess they would be right sizing the track, maybe trying to make it into a short track if plans go through.
Yeah, I also heard a rumor. I don't know if you listened to the Door Bumper Clear guys, but I was listening to them today, and they were telling that with the about 100 acres or whatever that they still have left of the property, they would be able to put a pretty good facility for a short track there, and then lease the land from the new owners for parking and stuff. Because a lot of people were concerned, well, how do you put a racetrack on 100 acres and then have parking for thousands of people? And so that was one of the things that they said today. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with the property for sure.
Yeah, because I think if you look at some of the other tracks that have sold some of their property, some are charging a little bit more for parking. If you look at some of the tracks I've even been to, and because of the parking situation, I'm lucky for most of the tracks I have parking passes, but if you didn't have a parking pass, a lot of the tracks is parking maybe about $50 or even depending on the venue.
Yep.
Kevin, tell us what tracks have you been to, or is it easier to say the ones you haven't been to?
The ones I've been to is my home track of Richmond. I've been to Dover, Bristol, Martinsville, Charlotte. One of my real favorites is Martinsville and Darlington. I've really grown fond of it, and Bristol. I love the character and the history of the tracks. I think what's so unique about our sport is each venue has its own historic significance in the sport, and I think each of them, some of them might look alike on the racing, but when you really look down at the characteristics and some of the winning there, some have had losses and some have had tragedies, some had victories there, and each track is unique to me.
Where do you plan on catching a race at this year?
Richmond, Pocono, Bristol, Martinsville, and hopefully we'll probably make a day trip up to Dover probably because it's only about 3 hours from my house.
Well, sounds like you're in a pretty good spot to have those tracks around you.
Yeah, right there. I'm not that far from. I'm only about 45 minutes from Richmond.
Okay. Do you know Dickie Dennis, the infamous fence climber up there?
I think so.
All right. He's tuned into the show right now. He always watches.
He's banned.
Yeah. Yeah, he's banned from Richmond for sure. And, of course, the beer man. Do you know the beer man, Scott Trevison?
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he talks about you all the time because he listens to the Sirius XM. So he'll be calling in here in just a few minutes. Is my microphone messed up?
All right.
Sounds like, okay. Must just be my headphones. All right. So, well, Kevin, we appreciate you calling in. And we did have one comment on there. It says, TC Chaps 88, Cletus McFarland is fighting hard to prevent condos from going up. Let's see, next to his racetrack. He knows once those houses fill up, that's why Tracy needs to read these comments. Go for it, Tracy.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry about that. No, she's got to put her glasses on.
Ha ha ha. See? Cletus McFarland is fighting hard to prevent condos going up next to his racetrack. He knows once those houses fill up, they will complain till he's shut down. Exactly what the developers want.
Oh, Cletus McFarland, he has a YouTube channel, and I know he's done a lot of like stadium truck racing and stuff like that. Does a lot of short track things. He's been to Bristol before too to have some videos there. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. So, Kevin, hopefully we'll run into you sometime. Maybe we'll run into you at Martinsville. We were up there last year for the race, but I know I met you down at Dale Jr.'s place for his open house. Big deal.
Yeah, I was at Martinsville too last year. I really enjoyed that Ross Chastain. Finished getting into the championship 4.
That was a really good race. That was something that's cool to witness. I was able to be there as well, and we've kind of made Martinsville I guess a yearly thing in the fall. So we got to witness some history, which is pretty cool. Hopefully, maybe we'll get to see you down there at Martinsville in the fall.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Sounds good, Kevin. Thanks, man. Call anytime. Okay, buddy?
All right, thank you.
We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right.
All right. That's Kevin from Virginia. Kevin from Virginia. If you listen to Sirius XM, he's always calling in. He's always he's got some good points and good comments and such. And Tracy, you're squeaking over there a little bit. What's up?
I told you I was going to do it the whole show.
I know. She's going to do that on purpose.
On purpose now.
Her
Now
little
that you said it.
Squeaky chair. Let's see. We got to.
Need to oil
I
the
keep
chair.
sinking, so because I keep sinking, I have to sit back up.
Oh yeah, I got you on the Tracy cam right now. She don't like to having the camera on her. So if you're listening on the radio, you like to see us here live in the Randy Marion studio.
Oh, thanks.
Just go to DHammiam on YouTube or search Racing Roots.
You claim to love me.
You'll find it either way. So something like that. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to Racing Roots with Hamm. Don't go anywhere. We got Beer Man calling in.
Conterra Networks delivers the fastest and most efficient fiber technology to businesses in western North Carolina and the greater Statesville area, including internet, private network, unified communications, and business continuity. Their team of local, dedicated professionals has been designing, building, and managing their owned and operated fiber network for over 25 years. Call Conterra Networks at 704-248-4720 or visit www.conterra.com.
.550 and 92.9 WAME.
All right, and we're back to Racing Roots with Hamm. And this evening, we're going to talk a little bit about the California race. And what, Tracy?
Hams.
That's the Hams. Okay, Tracy keeps reminding me it's with the Hams. And also, we were talking about Ross Chastain a few minutes ago, and he finished his first and second, the first two stages, which are the final stage is the winner, but the first two stages, he won both of those. And Cowboys won the final.
Gross.
I think I fixed the microphone though.
Yeah,
it was loose up here in the bezel or whatever you call it, in the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Well, Chastain finished third in the race. He led the most laps, and Daniel Suarez finished fourth. So Trackhouse Racing third and fourth there.
Okay.
Chevy's actually swept up for the top 4 positions in the race. But one thing I found interesting too, Kyle Busch, he went to Joe Gibbs in 2008. This was his first win in a Chevy since 2007. which is a
That's
long
cool.
time ago. Now we think about it.
That was a long time
I
ago.
would have been 2 years old whenever he last won in a Chevy. So,
Yes.
yeah.
That's funny.
Bryson's a baby.
I know. I'm a little kid. Chastain is number one in the point standings, though, and you look at like what he did last year. Won a lot of races in the spring, and then went on to be competitive all the way up until the Final Four. So, Trackhouse is absolutely. Now they're expected to be good. Last year was their standout season. They're expected to be good, and they're off to a hot start. So, cool for Chastain. And the Chevrolets are absolutely crushing it out there. I mean, you've got you've got your Hendricks, and now your RCRs are in the conversation more. You've got Trackhouse, and they're all at the top of the point standings. So they've all got a driver in the top 10, which is pretty cool. So. Chevrolets are having a standout year, but it's only 2 races in, so what can you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if he brings watermelons to the team.
I would
I
say
bet they do have watermelons at a
He's got a
track
good connection.
every race.
yeah, he's got a good connection. It's I would like to know how much watermelon they consume in one race season. It's probably a lot.
Tracy, you know what I mean by that?
No.
Okay. I had to do that. I'm going to put her on the spot now, too, by
Please
the way.
don't.
Okay, so the watermelon, he's known as the watermelon man, right?
Who?
Yep.
How many generations? There's something like 10 generations or
it's-
something of watermelons.
It goes way back, all the way back to like his ancestors. They've been watermelon farming, and is it Florida or I think it's Florida, right?
I want to say.
I bet the
Yeah,
beer
Florida.
man will know his whole bio.
Yeah, he he will. He definitely will. But he's a watermelon farmer, and so every time he wins a race, he smashes a watermelon, and that's kind of his signature thing, which is pretty cool. But
Yeah, it is.
I guess it depends on how much they win to see how much watermelon they consume in a year. I'm not a big watermelon guy, but if I was winning a race with Ross Chastain, I think I'd eat quite a bit.
And it's good to have that he has a signature celebration. Not many drivers have that
Yeah.
anymore. I mean, there's Edwards with the backflip.
I was just about to say that. He's about the last one that you have is him jumping in. Every time he did it, you thought he was going to break his neck, but you knew because he was Carl Edwards, he wasn't going to do that.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
He gave us one year for Christmas, he gave us those little flip. It was called a flip video recorder. It's before they come out with really good cell phone cameras. This has been a long time ago. It's about the time you were born, probably.
That little blue one you've got?
It's
Back
called a
in the
flip.
day.
The blue one you've got.
It's not blue.
Okay.
And it shows an image of Carl doing a flip on it.
Really?
Yeah, the reason it's called a flip is because you flip a little thing on the side and it pops a USB out and you plug it in your computer.
Huh.
So you record these videos and they really aren't that great. But back then I was like, man, this is awesome. I got me a video recorder right here in my hand, Before phones, as I mentioned, you plug it in the computer and then you can just download them right in the computer. But
Yeah. I was actually just thinking about that today. This is a little off topic, but we were at school and my teacher was like, here, if you want to, remember this for later or whatever, just snap a picture of it. And everybody grabs their phone and they just take a picture of it. And I'm thinking,
brilliant.
Even like 10, 15 years ago, that couldn't have happened. But now we're all just like, I think we take for granted the ability to take a picture of everything. But we take a picture of everything in today's day and age.
Speaking of picture,
All
take
right,
your hat
Bryson,
off.
take your hat and
Oh, no.
show your forehead a little
His
bit.
hair's grown a lot.
Yeah. I'm going to look probably like Motley Crue or
Woolly
something.
booger.
Look like an 80s hairband maybe.
I know how many of my listeners right now are jealous. They wish they had that head of hair.
Probably not many. It looks a
David's
little
one
crazy.
of them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to grow
It's
mine
kinda
out right
crazy.
now. Well, not trying. I'm just growing out.
You had pretty long hair when I first met you. It was actually pretty long, kind of a mullet. You should do that again. But hello, I know the camera's right in my face here. But
See what I mean?
I know how you feel,
You feel
Tracy.
my
I
pain.
know the
Feel my
feeling.
pain.
There you
Now it's
go.
back to Tracy. That's great.
Oh, yay.
All right. So, yes, we're here live in Randy Marion studio enjoying ourselves, talking about the race from this past weekend. And we got Beer Man's going to be calling in. But one thing I did want to mention, they're having this goes out to my fellow racers that have worked in NASCAR, worked for NASCAR team, whatever. They're having a racers reunion. I got a call from Mr. Gail Wilson, the Bandit, today. And he said on March 18th, they're going to have, it's Saturday at high noon, out at the Hendricks Complex. They're going to have a racers reunion. So they wanted to make sure that I got the invitation on that.
And make sure Dad comes.
Exactly. Want to make sure Kenny Thompson comes. So if Kenny Thompson, you're listening out there, we're going to come pick you up and take
That's
you
your
if we have
official
to.
invite.
There you
Yep.
go.
Even if we have to. So, yeah, we'll do that. And also, Roush Yates Manufacturing Solutions is hiring. If you're a machinist and you like to have a job in racing, you should consider going to work for Roush Yates Manufacturing Solutions. You can do that by just give me a call, give me a message, or send me a message on my Twitter is probably a good place to do it. DHammiam on the Twitters, or you can comment on this video if you're interested in it, and I'll get in touch with you. Yeah.
That's a good opportunity.
What do you think about that, Bryson? What are you going to do when you grow up?
Well, hopefully I'll be able to talk about racing when I grow up. That's the dream, right? But you know, I don't know if Robert Yates Racing Engines wants me in their shop because they might not run too well. But I guess I could learn.
You could sweep the floor.
Yeah. Hey, you know that's how you get your start. You sweep the floors.
Right.
But yeah, that is a good opportunity there, and y'all got a lot of good things going over there, right? With the what are you building engines for? Talk a little bit about that.
I'm building some engines now for the Wheeling Modified series, and I'm trying to remember the names of our drivers. I know when I'm building the engine who the team name is they're going to, or the owner.
Yeah.
But as far as the drivers now,
well, you cover a lot of drivers over there. There's a lot.
Yeah, there is, and I know we finished first and second at New Smyrna.
New Smyrna.
And then he was winning Wednesday evening in New Smyrna, and he ended up missed a shift. I actually saw a video of that today, and they ended up blowing the engine, but that was not something we did wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're winning so far.
Well,
it's going good.
That's good, successful stuff, man. I love the modifieds. Modified racing is it's not as it's moving south, but it's more of a northern thing, I would say, and that's something like a guy like Matthew Dillner who comes from up there is absolutely obsessed with modifieds, and I never really understood that till you watch them. You go to a couple races and watch them, and it's pretty cool to see.
Well, now you think about it like this. There's going back to the roots, because whenever NASCAR was formed, it was formed from those guys that were racing the modifieds. They were modified to run liquor.
Yeah.
Those cars, the 39 Fords, was a 39 Ford was a real popular one, as Bill Blair talks about a lot. But they were modified. So whenever whenever they started NASCAR, they had their meeting in 1948. He said, okay, we're going to have a strictly stock division. So they're taking the cars off the showroom floor, and that's what they were going to start racing. They didn't do the modifieds anymore.
Yeah.
But those drivers that were used to racing modifieds went and jumped in.
Yeah. The modified racing is the foundation. They're one of the foundations, and then they eventually went on to give it its own series, which is very successful. And anyways, it's great. So modified racing, the Smart Modified Tour is they actually come to Hickory Speedway twice this year, and so Bobby Labonte races with that tour. So they're a pretty entertaining bunch. But the Wheeling guys that's where it's at. Those guys are flying. I love watching. They show them on MAV TV a lot, and when they race at Richmond, I think Richmond and like a North Wilkesboro when they came there is like the perfect style track in my opinion for a modified. Because it's like a short track, but it's a long short track, and the banking is, it's not crazy, but it's also not a flat track. So I think they get around pretty good. But yeah, I love the modifieds, man.
Yeah, Bowman Gray has some great racing for modifieds as well. I'd love seeing the modifieds there.
Yeah, I'm about to get a schedule of this Wheeling Modified series and see where I can catch some of them races. I had considered going to New Smyrna, but I ended up not doing that. So. But we're also going to talk to Stoney Ballard. He's going to call in here in a little bit, and his some Davey Allison stories, which is going to be exciting because he worked with Davey back in 1987 whenever he won his very first Cup Series race, and that was in Talladega.
And he's got that iconic picture.
That's right.
Doing a Superman on front of the car.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I have a program from that race, and I got Bobby Allison to sign it not that long ago.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. Is it the program from the year before?
No,
it's the actual race?
It's the program for the race in '87.
Race, yeah. Okay, because typically the '87 it would show the kind of the results from '86 sort of thing.
Yeah, it did.
That's why I was asking, because I didn't know if it had the picture of Stoney in it. Possibly.
Dargan Watt says that race Sunday was a good one. Don't know who was happier, Richard Childress or Kyle Busch.
I'll tell you who wasn't happy, Joe Gibbs. Until the Xfinity race, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Who else got played?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people. Is the word like bandwagon? But I feel like a lot of people became like Kyle Busch fans all of a sudden because he left Joe Gibbs. Am I wrong? Or
I don't think it's a bandwagon thing, but I think it's okay. Now we don't hate this guy anymore.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of fans out there that Well, I think a lot of people weren't necessarily fans of Toyota coming into the series back in 2007.
Nope.
And so a lot of people just specifically don't like the Toyota drivers. And then you've got a guy like Kyle Busch that comes out and wins everything. Okay, and people, remember people used to boo Dale Earnhardt for winning everything. Mm-hmm. So when you win, you get cheered for a little while, and you win too much, and you get booed. So people didn't like Kyle Busch, but I think now that he's, like we said earlier, he's kind of viewed as an underdog figure and kind of has a new start. And it's kind of like, I think people look at him and say, this is a guy that moved on, and he's able to pick right up where he left off with somebody else and say, prove that he's one of the best drivers that we'll ever see. And so I don't think he's lost. He may have lost some fans for leaving Gibbs. I don't know. I don't think he would have, but he's definitely gained a lot. And so they were even talking on some podcasts I listened to today from some guys that were at the race, said there were so many Kyle Busch fans, just the place is crawling with him because he already has one of the most loyal fan bases in NASCAR, and then you bring in all these new guys from the Chevy side, and so there's a lot of 8 shirts, I would say.
Well, a lot of the old Earnhardt fans were probably looking for someone to follow that had the involvement with Childress. Yeah,
I think, and like I said earlier, I think it's a perfect fit because Richard Childress said it himself that Kyle Busch had the look in his eyes that Dale Earnhardt gave him back, whenever they started working together, and it's that that want for a win because he's been the past couple of years since 2019 on, it's been downhill at Gibbs for Kyle Busch, and so he was ready to move on, I think, and ready to be successful, and I think that's what they saw in Kyle Busch, and so I think he's gained a lot of fans.
Traci, what do you think about that? When I was I remember Earnhardt. Whenever places like Talladega, when Earnhardt would take the lead and the crowd would go nuts, and I'd just be looking around like, what's going on here? Oh, Earnhardt's leading the race.
You should know already what's happening.
Yeah.
So Leland Johnson says, happy radio show tonight. Traci, David, and Bryson, and Christian too.
Hey, thank you there, Leland. I actually posted a picture on my Twitter, DHammiam, and hey to Dargan too, by the way. And I posted a picture of my new NASCAR sign, and I said that my wife mentioned about NASCAR. That's what it stands for anyway.
Oh, my.
And Leland said, Traci, she's the best or something like that. All right, I'll just go ahead and tell you. She didn't know what NASCAR stood for.
No, I said I always wondered exactly what it stood for. Mm-hmm. That was my exact words.
Yeah, and if you don't know out there, that's fine. I understand. National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing is what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. It's the name they made up
for those that are not in the know.
Yeah. So whenever I see somebody say NASCAR racing, I'm always like NASCAR racing.
You just say NASCAR because it's all in there, but people don't know that. Yes. And also another thing is when people call the race car a NASCAR.
Yeah,
it's not a NASCAR.
It's like I rode in a NASCAR. No, you didn't. You rode in a race car. So, but people don't. I mean, people understand what you mean. It's funny because it's one of those things that worked out. Mm-hmm. I watched a documentary that Fox made of the meeting that they had at Daytona back at the Streamline Hotel, and I don't know if this was just for TV or if it was real, but there was some what do you call that? That's an English term. When you have a word and the letters stand for something, that's called something.
Acronym?
Acronym, okay. Yeah. There was an acronym, and I should know that, gosh.
That's okay.
There was an acronym, and it didn't have any flow to it. Like it sounded, it didn't sound good. And then they said, well, why don't we just call it NASCAR? And then, that might have just been for TV. I don't know. But,
right. Traci was about to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, sure I was.
Acronym. Yeah. I took English last semester, so I'm a little rusty.
David's trying to pick on me, Bryson. I think you need to protect me again.
Yeah.
Well, you told me not to ask you any questions. But
well, what'd you do?
Well, okay.
What do you think, Traci?
They had when they had that meeting at the Streamline Hotel, that was on December 14th, 1948, and I was born on December 14th, 2000.
It was meant to be. Yeah, you're a natural. You were born to be a race fan.
And we actually drove by the Streamline, but didn't go in.
Mm-hmm. Do they still have y'all been in there recently? Do they still have like the same room? Oh, okay. I've been wondering this, and I didn't know if they still like had preserved or sort of recreated the room where NASCAR was founded, because you would think you'd have a lot of tourism that way. I would think they'd preserve something like that.
Well, I did see pictures Bill Blair had posted of photos that was still in the hotel.
Okay. Yeah, because when I Googled it, it's like some of their rooms and stuff were remodeled, but I just wondered because, 10 years after that happened, the hotel could have had a remodel, and they might not have thought anything about NASCAR being founded there until it's relevant now, 75 years later. But I just wondered. I thought that would be neat.
That'd be a good
Well,
question
you'll be
for
able to
Bill
find
Blair.
out next year when you come with us.
I know. I'm going to come down there. I think that'll be cool.
Yeah, Bill Blair would know the answer to that, and
Yes.
he would probably have a story to go along with it.
Yes.
Or a few. He's been going there for many years.
Yep, for sure.
So he would have lots of good stories.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back to Racing Roots with Hamm. Y'all don't go anywhere.
Aging happens, but aging can happen gracefully and safely. There are many factors to consider and questions to ask concerning your loved one's ability to remain at home. Journeys Assisted Living can help answer those questions and provide peace of mind for you and your loved one. With our welcoming environment, knowledgeable staff, and inviting and lively activity programming, Journeys Assisted Living gives our residents the home they deserve with the care they need, allowing you to focus on making memories with your loved one. Let us help answer your questions. Stop by Journeys Assisted Living today and learn how we can be a partner in the aging solution. Call us at 704-878-0046 for a free consultation or to schedule a tour.
Seasons change and spring is coming, regardless of what the groundhog said. The grass is turning green and the daffodils are blooming, and for some people that means seasonal allergies. Achoo! Miss Daisy's is here to help. How about a 600-count bottle of generic Benadryl for only $5? There's also brand name allergy medicine, eye drops, and nasal spray. There's lots of new spring and summer clothing items for the entire family, including kids' Champion brand 3-piece sets for $8. Ladies' Levi jean shorts for $30 and men's shorts starting at $15. They also have lawn and beach chairs, patio chair cushions, water hoses, hummingbird feeders, bird seed, and don't forget about the sunscreen. Miss Daisy's is fully stocked with a variety of it for less than other places. Also take advantage of the winter clearance sale going on now and save even more off the already low prices. It's almost like getting it free. New items arriving every week. Don't miss out on all the great deals by following them on Facebook to see what's new. Located at 4071 Taylorsville Highway in Statesville. That's Old Highway 90 next to Mountain Air Chicken. Open Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 5. Do you dread going into work every day? Sick of the long hours and short pay? Well, make a change today. Join an industry-leading team that helps local businesses get ready for the workday. Cintas is hiring routes.
And we're back to Racing Roots with Hamm on this fine, glorious, beautiful evening. So, hey, you know, it's starting to feel like springtime already.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pollen around.
Yeah. This weekend it definitely did. Or, like Friday, Thursday, last week.
Yeah.
It was, it got up to, I think it was 61 when I was on my way over here, but it's been raining. I'm not a fan of the rain. I know we need it, but when it's kind of chilly and it's raining, man.
Well, that's money falling from the sky because the grass is growing.
That's right. That's right.
It was really hot like about a week and a half ago, and then it got colder again.
I like the warmer weather because it's just the first indicator that summer is near.
Yeah.
So as
racing season.
Yeah, racing seasons. It's good. And speaking of racing season, we're about to start. We've already started the NASCAR season, but the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series season is about to begin this weekend at Hickory, all your local short tracks across the country. So that's exciting. And then there's also some big stuff going on at Rockingham that you were talking about.
Yes, that's correct. On Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, March the 4th, we're having the open house at Rockingham, and it's the first time we're going to see like cars on track with the new paved track, and I'm looking forward to it. Stock Car Classic is going to be there, Allison Legacy Race Series. I know Donnie Allison and Will Cronkite are coming, but we're expecting a huge turnout, and I'm looking forward to it.
That'll be cool. I saw the repave, but they haven't put cars on track since, and it's going to be the what do you call them? The throwback guys.
Stock Car Classics, and the Allison Legacy Race Series will do the Roval. Like they did last year, so it's going to be a great day. I'm looking forward to it.
That will be. So, yeah, definitely maybe go check that out, Rockingham.
Yeah, Donnie Allison stays busy with the Allison Legacy Series. I know last time I called him, he was sitting there ordering some parts for the cars and stuff there, having trouble getting some of the parts for them.
Paul Rodriguez says he doesn't like Toyotas either.
Yes. Well, I think I remember that about Paul. Paul's a diehard Ford man right there.
From Port Lucie, Florida.
Yes, Port St. Lucie.
Oh, Port St. Lucie.
Don't forget the Saint.
Please don't
Lucy
forget
is
the
a saint. Absolutely.
My best friend Tucker, he's big into Fords. He actually works at a Ford dealership.
Really?
Yep.
All right, so we're just waiting for somebody to call in now. We got Dickie Dennis maybe. And,
yeah, Dickie's not responding to my messages because he's being stubborn.
Well, we were supposed to have Stoney Ballard calling in and Scott Trevison, but apparently they're AWOL for some reason.
Hopefully we'll find them. Who knows where they're at? So, let's talk about Hickory then. We can talk about Hickory for a second. What we are. I think it's going to be an exciting season. Are y'all planning on coming to a race? Because you better.
I really want to come at least sometime soon.
Yeah.
Are you planning on it? Well, you better.
Yeah, because you don't have a choice. I'm making you come to a race. I'll drag you up there. No, I'm just kidding.
Tell us the schedule.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a good idea. This weekend is the season opening blowout, and I have it on my phone here.
What time do they typically start racing?
Well, so on a typical day, qualifying will be 4 or 5 o'clock. The racing starts at 6 or 7. In the summer, I think it starts at 6 o'clock this weekend, and then as we move into the summer, they'll move it up about an hour or so. But there's a lot on schedule this weekend. Let's see if I can get it to pull up here.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about our guest for next week. Is going to be. Does anybody here know Reverend Brian Burgess?
I know Reverend Burgess.
The Rev.
He did Pop's funeral.
That's right, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and he
did a good job.
The preacher out at Beulah, the Reverend.
Beulah Baptist.
Yeah, so he's going to be our guest next week. So it should be an entertaining show. We'll have a lot of fun with that. And we'll see what kind of experiences he has with
I'll
any
see if
racing.
he can put you in a headlock because he's been working out a lot.
He has been. And I
do
have
some
not.
wrestling over here on the platform. I'll video it.
I've been gaining weight. I mean,
Oh yeah, so you could be in his weight class.
I've been gaining muscle. I guess. Yeah, I could be in there. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh well, more to lift now. So
entertainment.
So we got the Rev on next week, huh?
The Rev.
Yeah,
that'll be good.
Fun.
Okay, so I've got the schedule here.
Go for it.
Okay, so we've got. The grandstand's open at 4 o'clock. Qualifying starts 10 minutes after, and then the racing will begin at 6 o'clock, immediately following qualifying, depending on how long that takes. It'll be twin 40-lap features for the weekly series late models, 35 laps for the Paramount Auto Group limited late models, 30 laps for the Heritage Finance Street Stocks, 20 laps for the Renegades, 100 laps for the Carolina Pro late models, 62 laps for the Carolina Crate Modifieds, and tickets are only $14 for adults, $12 for teens, seniors, and military, and children 12 and under get in free.
Wow.
So that's a lot of racing for one night over in the Catawba Valley, and I promise you it's going to be good because those guys are ready to get back at it.
Yeah.
You said military, so Dickie Dennis could come and use that discount.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't climb any of our fences, he can come. We don't have him on a list. We'd be happy to have him.
All right. Hey, go ahead, caller.
David, what you doing this evening?
Hey there. We're just talking about you. We were just.
What you want to talk about?
Well, we were just saying how you get a military discount if you come down to Hickory.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on down.
Past military.
When it is. I didn't hear the date.
Every Saturday night.
I miss the whole show every time I get on the phone with you. I don't get to see none of the show until you play it.
Yeah, sorry about that. You didn't miss much. You just missed that one little part there. So,
yeah, this Saturday we're opening up at Hickory, and it's going to be a good race.
All right.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
Every Saturday.
But it's every
doable.
Saturday
That's
from
not
here
doable.
through October, pretty much. We got a couple off weekends, but
Dickie,
But if they're every Saturday, I'm sure there's one that can happen for real.
Yeah.
All right, what did you think about the race last night?
The best part of the whole thing was right when Kyle Busch got out of the car and he presented himself as a professional.
He did, didn't he?
He did.
You know, I was very proud of him, and I'm not a Kyle Busch fan, you know that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But he showed me a different side of him when he was getting that interview at the end of the race after the win. And yeah, I respect him a lot now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we were talking about signature moves from the different drivers, how they had the backflip and all that stuff from Carl Edwards. Well, he's got his signature bow.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
But rubbing his eyes like he's crying, right?
Yeah. A couple of usually there's a few smart aleck comments to go along with it as well. He's usually got a couple of smart aleck comments. But yesterday he was really humble. It seemed like he's taking in a lot from the whole process of not knowing where you're going next season and kind of finding his place. And it seems like it's humbled him to come to RCR a little bit. And I appreciated that and gained a lot of respect for him, like you said yesterday. And I think a lot of people did as well.
He was terribly tickled with himself. Could you see how excited he was?
Yeah, he had that look like I can still do it, and everybody know. You hear Chase Elliott and the guys on TV. I know they have to make everything seem so dramatic, but the guys at Fox, everybody's like, are you surprised to see Kyle Busch win this early? And all the drivers that they talk to are like, no, it's Kyle Busch. He's one of the most polarizing figures in NASCAR, one of the greatest drivers of this era, and. Yeah, no, it's not. Chase Elliott said it best when he said, "No, are you surprised?" Like it's not a surprising thing that Kyle Busch, he's one of the greatest to ever do it. So, yeah, it was pretty cool, and I think that it's only a start because I think he's going to go to Vegas next week and be just as competitive.
Oh yeah, where did Chase Elliott finish? I didn't get it.
P2, yep, second.
I didn't get that. Second? Yep. Last I remember, he was like 33rd or something.
Chase? You talking about Chase Elliott?
He maybe Chase Elliott.
Yeah, Chase Elliott, it seemed this way last season. He's kind of quiet on the racetrack, but somehow he still gets good results. Gets good results, good finishing positions in the races, and he stays up there in the points. Yeah. I don't know how he does it, but usually he's pretty quiet to be the most popular driver.
Most popular? Yeah, okay.
Besides Harvick, of course.
Now, Dickie, I've seen a couple of your comments about Harvick. Are you a Kevin Harvick fan?
Ooh. Yes, sir, I am. Yes, sir, I am.
What's your thoughts on Kyle Busch versus Harvick in 2011 at Darlington?
What do you mean, like throw down, fist fight? What are you talking about?
Do you remember in Darlington 2011 when Kyle Busch intentionally spun out Harvick on the front stretch and all that went down? Harvick went to punch him and he pushed his car to the pit road wall. That's something that I remember watching when I was a kid, and I thought, wow.
Yeah, I believe the two of them have settled down.
Yeah,
I really do. My honest opinion is they're not going to go there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think there's a lot of. I look at there's a lot of guys, including Kyle Busch, that I used to growing up just could not stand because they were so arrogant on the racetrack and just kind of that. They had that spoiled kid attitude and they weren't getting rid of it, and it was their way or no way. And I think there's a lot of guys that were like that, and a lot of them. With the exception of a couple who I won't name because, you never know. But a lot of them have matured in the way that they approach the race day, and I think you saw that in Kyle Busch yesterday.
Yeah, man, that was great. It was really great. I loved the way he handled himself all throughout the whole interview because normally he doesn't even want to have the reporter, the dude interviewing, whatever, in his face, period. He's in the moment. It's time for him to celebrate. He don't want to ask or be asked a bunch of questions. I don't feel that's the way he was by his arrogancy.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
And but so he's lost that, and maybe that was just a fluke. I hope it isn't.
So it's the last year for Kevin Harvick in NASCAR as far as racing. I bet he'll probably do some broadcasting or something.
What do you guys know about the Cars Tours?
Cars Tours?
Yeah, that thing he's getting into with oh God, Jeff Burton and
Yeah.
I forget the other two guys.
He is part owner with Jeff Burton, Dale Jr. and Justin Marks of Trackhouse Racing.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
They've took over the ownership. The original owner of the Trackhouse, or not of the Trackhouse, the original owner of the Cars Tour is still going to run the operations, but they're kind of, I guess, they own it now, and so I think they're trying to grow it, and you've seen it with Junior. They're trying to grow late models into something even bigger than it already is.
Right.
So I think that'll be pretty cool. But he's got a 1/4 stake, I guess, in a 25% stake in the car store.
And the SRX.
Yeah, he's going to run a couple SRX races too.
That's attracting a lot of other drivers also. Keselowski and I think Ward Burton's going to get in one of those cars.
Yeah.
I just seen where Ward's getting back in a car.
And Kenny Wallace.
Yeah.
Kenny Wallace, I left him out, man. Not hurt him. I left him out.
Yeah.
It almost reminds you of the old IROC series a little bit, where you kind of see some of these guys coming and racing these cars that are, they're identical, but so you're winning off of driver ability, and it's pretty cool. My favorite thing about the whole thing is that it's on CBS on the national network, and they're going to all these local short tracks and running their races and really highlighting them. I think they're going to Berlin for the first time, which is a really cool place.
They're going to be at Radford just before Berlin.
Yeah. It's going to be
here
a
at my
great
house.
season.
I'm going to Radford.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
Just don't
I'm going to go to
fence.
Eldora too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put that out there. I'm going to Eldora this year.
Awesome.
There you go.
Now, if I'm correct, SRX was on CBS the last 2 years, but I'm pretty sure ESPN bought the rights now.
Oh,
they're going to broadcast it.
They definitely did. So I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That's I just messed that one up. You're right though. Thanks for pointing that out. ESPN did buy that. So SR racing on ESPN is going to be cool. I haven't had that for a while.
Yeah, it is.
Tracy had a comment. Tracy.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Get my glasses on.
No, you had a comment. I mean, you just said it. Say it again.
What did I say?
You said just don't.
Oh, just don't climb the fence.
Yeah, right. Tony Stewart, Eldora, he owns the place. He started climbing the fences way back when. If I get a picture of me and him on the fence together, I'll just be like in.
Hog
That'd
heaven.
would be it.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
T Chaps 88 says that night was Regan Smith's only cup win. Regan Smith's only cup win too.
Yep, he's talking about the 2011 Darlington race.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, well, thanks for calling in there, Dickie. My microphone.
Right on. Y'all have a great night, man. Don't cut the show off. I'm going to tune right back in.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Sounds good, buddy.
All right.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Dave.
Love y'all, man. Love y'all.
You.
You too, buddy. See you, bye. All right, yeah, my microphone's messed up, so I'm just trying to keep it low. Hey there, who we got on the line with us?
Oh, it's Stoney Ballard.
Hey there, Stoney Ballard.
Thank you.
Hey, how you doing? Is Dick still on the phone?
No, he hung up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was going to ask him, that, when Dad got Rookie of the Year in 1971, he was the oldest rookie driver until Dick Trickle came along.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Dick Trickle actually got it when he was like 52 years old.
Hey, David.
That's my age, yes.
I was like, happy birthday.
I could still do it, or whatever.
Yeah, you're still capable.
Wow. No, I just wanted to pressure him a little bit because that cat has won so many races and done so many things that I've been loving and enjoying the whole podcast. But, it's been how everything was doing. So I just had to call in and say, hey, thank you guys. How'd you love the Daytona?
Oh,
It was nice, but it was a little chillier than I expected, to be honest.
it was perfect.
Oh, well, you have to be here in summertime.
Oh, I
you
love
missed
it.
it by a week.
I know, right?
Yeah.
1 week later.
That's my fault. Originally, we were going to stay for a week, but I
We were
went
going to stay
back
for
to
2
work.
weeks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we were going to stay an extra week further than what we did, and I ended up going back to work. So
It's all David's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you catch any fish?
Didn't go fishing.
No, we didn't do that. Went out on a
What?
boat. Yeah, we went out on a boat. It was nice.
Yeah, we did go out on the boat.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures. Awesome.
Hey, so tell us about it was Davey Allison's birthday 2 days ago.
Right, 25th.
Yeah. So tell us, do you got any Davey Allison stories? Because you were there in 1987 when he won his first race, and you were on the hood of the car doing the Superman.
Yes. Doing the Superman thing and everything like that, with growing up with Davey, that was like a highlight of everything that Davey, Robert Yates, everything that their team put together. Yeah, we all felt like superheroes that day. And every time that me, Freddie Wilson, Joey Knuckles, my brothers, Danny and Clint, everybody, we would get together. We were like superheroes, and we were invincible. But growing up with Davey, now that's a different story. With Judy and Bobby and, everybody, Mom and Dad, we didn't have all these Game Boys and stuff like that to play with. So we talked about airplanes. I talked about airplanes with you before.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time that, I was talking to Davey about, I love the P-51 Mustangs, the P-41s, and Davey loved the helicopters. So I remember my uncle that he was twice in Vietnam, and I said you can't stay with the Chinooks, you have to stay with the Hueys, because they'll get you out of there. I didn't understand what he was talking about, but Davey always loved helicopters, and we always loved avionics. So we'd go to racetrack, and stuff. We was way before we can get into the pits. Kyle Petty, he had a freaking arm on him that can throw a football. He actually taught me how to side wing one of them. Davey would know how to catch one of them, and we were looking like the sides on the side row like cats. Thinking which one's going to throw something so we'd go attack them. But those cats were so much fun to grow up with. And Davey was only, I think, 4 months older than I am. And me and Clint, were born on the same day. Yeah. So we had always looked forward to going down to the Firecracker 400, for 4th of July. Mm-hmm. So we'd always meet down there at, the Hawaiian Tropic and stuff like that. And we'd always talk about our prospects, we'd, play on the beach and stuff like that. And the best thing that we ever knew as growing up as children was like the garage is closed for the day, lay your tools down, put everything down, and go home. And then when they said that, we'd all get in the truck or whatever, and we knew that we had to go home, knowing that our parents had to fix race cars for the next day. Mm-hmm. So, but Davey was a real close friend, and he was a true brother in arms. And I can't believe it's been over 30 years since I missed that cat.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So I hope I didn't overspeak my boundaries or anything like that.
No, not at all, man. Always great to hear stories about Davey Allison. And but I do want you to tell this other story if you got a minute. And the one about you were talking about airplanes, and tell the one about Junior Johnson and your airplane.
Oh yeah. When I had this little P-51 Mustang airplane, had a little bit of fuel in it and stuff like that, and mixed the gas. And I think we were at it was Darlington, and I was sitting there, fueled up, and I was sitting and threw it off and flew about 200-300 feet, and then I'd go pick it up. And then Junior Johnson came out there and said, hey, Stoney, said, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm sitting there flying my airplane, trying to, I'd adjust the ailerons and stuff like that to make sure it flies straight. And he said, hey, kid, he said, I got some juice that you need to mix the stuff up with. And so I waited, I sat there and flew my plane a couple times. He comes back with this special, I'm not sure if I can say this. It was special juice that he mixed with oil and everything like that. And he said, try this stuff out. And he mixed the fuel up, and it had a blue flame coming out about like 6 feet or 6 inches. And he's sitting there, and he threw it, and it went. That was at Talladega when he did it. So, recapturing myself. And he threw it, and we were up towards the first turn coming into Talladega, and it flew all the way over and came back around on turn 4. And it flew over the track. Wow. And he looks at me and says, sorry about your luck, kid. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's my airplane. But it's like, okay, well, I'm left with a couple of jars and a couple of my tools and stuff like that, because it was before race day. And I was like, okay, well, I got all this junk. What am I going to do with it? So I took everything back, emptied it out. And then a couple of races later, that he came out and had this 6-foot wingspan P-51 Mustang, and gave me a jar of his special fuel. Showed me how to hook it up, and believe it or not, it shot about 6 to 8 foot, depending on the speed that I would put that 029 or 032 in, and that sucker would take off, and I was like, holy crap! And he said, Don't tell your parents where this came from. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to tell them where it came from because you lost my last airplane.
That must have been some of that Wilkes County special fuel.
Oh, right. No, it definitely was. And every time I seen him, he said, don't tell your mom and dad where you got this from because they'll know it came from me. So we kept that a secret for about 20 years until I started working with Davey. And then when I see him, I said, Junior, I said, you got any of that special fuel? And he'd always laugh and chuckle, and he always has some spare.
That's good. That's good.
No, it was great. And he taught me a lot about making some special fuel. Not that I'm doing it nowadays, because FBI and everything like that, I can't be regulated. I'm a high school teacher.
That's right.
But I can talk about everything about it. So, he taught me a lot about mixing fuel and working with Punchy Knoll and Smokey Unick and everybody like that. Smokey taught me a lot of stuff when I was real young about carburation. And then talking about with Punchy Knoll, he really taught me about how to do a smoke test on how to get Venturas and everything like that for carburation. And then Junior, he's sitting there and putting back on the top of it, like, like when they did the restrictor plate racing, when you used to break the back of the intake. Once they heat it up, you get more air into it. These guys taught me a lot of stuff about engineering that nobody would even think about.
Yeah, sure.
And speaking of you, how are you doing with the Yates team?
Oh, it's going great. Yeah, we're doing good, winning some races already, and enjoying it.
Hey, yeah. So when are you going to send me some heads down?
Yes, I'll see what we can do. We'll work on that.
Now I got a couple of my kids into competition and stuff like that. So, do you think that I would rather, personally, be doing the Larry Wallace camp shafts with the The camshafts, or just keeping the valve train the same?
Well, I think
I'm putting you on the spot.
Well, I think you could do the Larry Wallace cams if you don't have to pass any rules. You'd be fine with that. Yeah. Because see, we have to stay within the limits of our rules and their sealed engines and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, but we ain't got no rules and regulations. We're better than that.
yeah, that's right. Yes. And so, speaking of Stoney's kids, how's everything going in the college high school? I don't know why I say college, but they're preparing for college.
No, it's doing great. Everything's doing great. Gettle has granted us $25,000 to use what I need to, use to show these high school kids what horsepower is. And we just got us, I hate to say it, we didn't buy it from you because we couldn't afford it, but 383 stroker with 440 horsepower dyno tested. And I was like, kids, don't worry about that low number. I'll show you how to change the camshafts and change the heads, change the valves, and these kids are all stoked up on it.
All right.
It's like, it's like you could teach them something that they have something to hold on to. We're out here in the country, and all they want to know is how to mud. Okay, so when you want to know how to mud, where's the horsepower coming from?
Is that the mud bogging?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay. They love the mud bogging and getting out here in Florida, gator country.
Yep.
Wow.
Out in the swamp.
Good stuff.
No, everything's working out great, and I really missed y'all that I didn't get to see you when you were down here in Florida.
I know.
We'll come back.
We're going to bring Bryson with us.
Yeah.
We'll see you next weekend.
The pictures I seen with y'all were like way too uppity for me.
You could have come out on the boat with us. Yeah. Yeah. I tried to invite you, but anyway. We'll do that next time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I love you guys.
Love you too, brother. Good talking to you.
All right. Y'all take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, Mr. Stoney Ballard there. So, always great stories from him.
Jim Dooley says Hamm can teach tire changing.
Tire changing. Well, thank you, Jim, for that comment. Usually he says something about something derogatory about my harmonica.
Tire changing. Yeah.
He probably says you tire change better than you play harmonica.
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Especially now with just one lug nut, I think you could figure that one out.
Oh, yeah, I believe so.
Used to you had to put 5 on each tire. Now you just got to put 4 on the whole car. So the tire men really got the good end of the deal, I think.
Yeah.
They're still aggravating though, I hear. Or it seems that way.
Well, I used to, jack the car up and then I'd grab the tire, pull it out.
Yeah.
And then roll it to where I got to where I could just roll it around the car.
I don't think people realize how heavy the tires are either.
And
because
hot.
you see, they're hot right off the racetrack.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of summer. Think about picking one up at the Coke 600 in May, or you're at Daytona on July 4th weekend, and it's hot down there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's coming right off of that hot pavement.
Oh, yeah.
And these guys are just slinging them around. I don't think people understand how heavy they are.
I used to grab them with my arm, and then I would get a scar across my forearm. So I started. That's when the year before I started wearing fire suits.
Yeah.
I was just going to make a joke and say that was something I probably did to you.
Yeah, the scars on my arms. Yeah, that's you right there.
Man.
All right.
When you misbehave.
Well, so that was before the fire suit. So what were you wearing, like a short sleeves, like shop shirt or something?
Yeah, but it was like back then I was wearing a Coors Light. It was a nice looking shirt. And I mean, it had all the sponsors
just like
on
a
it
shirt.
and everything.
Yeah.
But it was like,
Yeah.
Travis Howlett, I guess that's how you say his last name. Don't change the tires on a motorcycle. You'll get too tired. Ha ha.
Oh, is that right?
That's
Too
right.
tired, yeah. That's a good racing joke. We need to remember that one. All right, y'all. Well, like I mentioned before, we're going to have Reverend Burgess in with us next Monday, and then we'll not sure after that. So, but that's it. We're going to get ready for. I guess the next race is going to be Las Vegas coming up.
Yes.
This Sunday at March 5th at 3:30 in the evening, which I guess that'll be Las Vegas time. It'll be 2 hours before or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It may
Or an
start.
hour.
It may start 3:30 out here.
I mean, out there to Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Either way, though, there's going to be a lot of good racing this weekend. The trucks and the Xfinity guys are out there. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday racing, and that'll be good. Vegas is. We talked earlier about how these tracks are kind of getting their getting into their groove. They're getting about the perfect age from being paved to where their asphalt is settling in and providing pretty good racing. So I think Vegas is going to be fast. It's going to be good, and I know it's not a similar shape or length or anything to Fontana, but I think a lot of the same people are going to be up front at Vegas. What do you think, Christian?
I think definitely we'll see Hendrick cars up there, but we see guys like Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano be really strong there, and same thing with Kyle Busch. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the track. I just not a huge fan of Las Vegas Motor Speedway or Las Vegas, but the racing has gone better over the years there.
Then the following week's going to be Phoenix, which is usually Harvick's been good at that track in the past.
Phoenix, honestly, the racing there has not been that good, to be fair. The last couple of years, it has not.
Well, it didn't really fit well last year with the new car. It was like some tracks, especially short tracks, and I don't know where Phoenix falls because it's kind of a short track in that it's doesn't have the speed of a mile and a half. I don't know the length of it. I think, what is it, like a mile, close to a mile or something?
It's about a mile,
But either way, Phoenix was kind of hit or miss with the racing last year. I didn't think the championship race was too bad. I thought it was pretty racy. But that'll conclude the West Coast swing, and then they'll come back to Atlanta, the reconfigured Atlanta, which will be cool, a plate race. And then they'll hang out around on the East Coast for a little bit, and that'll conclude the West Coast swing. But there's also going to be good racing at every local short track around the country pretty much coming up Saturday, especially Hickory. And if you can't watch the race or can't make it to the race, you can always watch the race on Flow Racing, which is a pretty cool feature. It's a subscription service for these short tracks, and they cover a lot of racing. So you can catch me and Kel Lineberger on the Flow Racing if you can't make it out to the race, but it's a whole lot better when you can feel the horsepower. So come on down to Hickory Motor Speedway, but it'll be good. But racing, man, it's good to have racing on the weekends again.
That's right.
Yeah,
missed it, huh?
So Dave, you remember James S?
I do.
Okay, so he says, "Hi everyone, I got to finally catch some of your show."
All right, very good, James. Good to see you down there in Daytona. Yeah. All right,
we
y'all.
had breakfast.
That's right, we did. We had breakfast with him, and let's see who else. We had the Flock
Blair.
Sisters, Bill Blair, Peggy and Joey Flock, and then Mr. Johnny Allen was sitting there with us too, and Bob Hissom and some others. But anyway, well, y'all, thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all next Monday. We've got Reverend Burgess coming on with us, so stay tuned for that. It should be a lot of fun, and y'all have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you later.
Next time.
Thanks.
Right on.
New year, and maybe you're looking for a brand new job with an outstanding company. Kewanee Scientific Corporation, an outstanding local company in business for over 100 years, has job opportunities for you.